Salams and welcome. Thank you for joining me in another episode of the Quran in English, Basics for Beginners. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Alhamdulillah, by the grace of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we are now coming towards the end of this chapter. There are a total of 135 verses, right? This is Surah Taha, the mystic letters, Surah number 20, chapter number 20 of the Quran, verse number 130. Therefore, be patient with what they say and celebrate constantly the praises of your Lord before the rising of the sun and before its setting. Yea, celebrate them for part of the hours of the night and at the sides of the day, that you may have spiritual joy. And the ulama tells us that this is the indication of the 5 regular salahs. And the praises of Allah can be any time and all the time. Because the best thing in the whole world, remembrance of Allah, is the best thing in the whole world. And we are also told by Nabi Sal'lal'laa'hu A'lay'hi Was'sal'lam that the heart rusts with disuse. When we forget our Creator, the heart becomes hard and full of rust. And everything has a polish. And the way to polish the heart and to remove the rust, and the way to have the heart polishing nicely and brightly, is to make zikr of Allah. That is the constant polish. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also reminds us, فَاذْكُرُونِي أَذْكُرْكُمْ. Remember me and I will remember you. Absolutely magnificently beautiful, right? Nor strain your eyes in longing for the things we have given for enjoyment to parties of them, the splendor of the life of this world through which we test them. But the provision of your Lord is better and more enduring. Now, whether it was before the time of social media or now the challenges are even more with social media, there has always been throughout the existence of humanity the thing called comparison. And it is natural to look at those people who are either wealthier than us or more beautiful than us, or in whatever way they are more successful. But here we are being told that don't get disheartened. Don't strain your eyes in longing, that it damages your self-esteem and you look at other people, because Allah has given them enjoyment to certain of them regarding the glitter and splendor of the life of this world. And many of them are the unbelievers. And people will wonder, but they are the unbelievers. They don't care. They have wine, woman, and song. They don't care about premarital sex or adultery or mistresses and consorts and going to clubbing and dancing and intermingling and wine, woman, and song. And yet they got so much money. They're getting everything. And the reason is because this world is their paradise. So they will be given things to enjoy. But for the believer, it's to have sabr, because the paradise is for eternity. Whereas for others, the paradise is only for less than 100 years. And even though they get paradise in this dunya, remember, every day they are getting older. So how much can you enjoy? You can't enjoy when you're old and you're sick and you've got cancer and arthritis and so on. But in paradise, you never get old. You are fit and strong and fabulously beautiful and handsome and strong and wealthy. So your joy will be there continuous, not like the short-term joy lived here. And famously, one day Nabi Sal'lal'laa'hu A'layhi Was'sallam was laying down, and Hazrat Umar bin al-Khattab came to come visit him. And when Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam was laying down in the bed, and when he sat up, then Umar bin al-Khattab saw the marks on his back because Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam was sleeping on a very hard reed mat. And the marks of the reeds had imprinted his back. There were deep lines on his back. And Umar bin al-Khattab had tears in his eyes because Umar bin al-Khattab was a very noble, notable, famous businessman, and he had traveled far and wide. And he told Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam that, Ya Rasulullah, the kings of Rome and the kings of Persia, they have gold and they have palaces and they have luxury and they have soft, soft beds and they've got thousands of servants and they've got food and they've got wealth and they've got everything. But why are you like this? Why? Because he's now wondering, because the wealth is coming to Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, but Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is giving his wealth away to everybody. Because Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam had embraced zuhud. This dunya had no meaning for him. And one day the mountains of Uhud or the mountains around Mecca said, we can transform ourselves to gold, Ya Rasulullah, and give it to you. Rasulullah said, I don't want it. For 13 years in Mecca, the chiefs of Quraysh, the leaders, tried to bribe and tempt Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam to say, we will make you the wealthiest person, we will make you our leader, we will make you the president, we will make you so rich that the money will flow all over you. Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, I'm not interested in that. My reward is from my Creator, my reward is from Allah. You see, he was so focused on his goal that the pain that he was going through was negligible, even though he experienced it. And his family had sabr together with him. There were times that for 3 months in a row, can you imagine this? Hazrat Aisha radiallahu anha said, for 3 months in a row, the fire was not lit in our houses. And what she meant by the fire was the fire for cooking. There was no food for 3 months. And so the people were absolutely amazed. And they said, but then how did you survive? And she said, on the 2 black things. The dates are black and the water. And the reason why the water is referred to as black, not to say the water is black, but if you pour water, even if it's clean, pure water, if you pour it in a clay mug, because there the pottery was made out of clay, then the illusion is that the water is dark in color because of the color of the clay. And that's what she meant, that we survived on water and dates. Absolutely amazing and mind-boggling and truly, truly humbling. And also famously, when sometimes people would come to Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, either invite him for a meal, or one day they sent him, I think it was part of a shoulder or something, he ate part of it, and immediately he said, take this to my beloved daughter Fatima's house, because she has not ate anything for a few days. So look at the great suffering that they were going through. But they all did that out of love for the Creator Supreme. So we must also learn from that this dunya and all the attractions in this dunya and the glitter and the glamour and the amusement and the wine and the woman and the song and the night clubbing is all there as temptations by Satan or Shaitan to make us forget about our Creator and to make us forget that our home is not dunya. Our home is in paradise. We have come from the heavens. We have come from the stars. We are the aliens. We are the UFO. Because the planet Earth is not our home. And Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, live on earth as if you are a traveler. So imagine that you are a traveler traveling through a vast desert. And in the distance, you see a tiny oasis. You see some palm trees, and you see a little bit water, and you see some shade. So you stop for a short while at that oasis just to get your strength back. and then you carry on your journey. Now look how beautifully he explains our existence. Our soul comes from before eternity. Then our soul lives for a short time within our bodies on the planet Earth. When we die, our soul is removed and continues on its journey towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the soul is only for a short time in dunya. We are only for a short time on the planet Earth. But our journey is continuing. We have come from paradise and we are on the planet Earth and we are carrying on along the Sirat al-Mustaqim. Similarly, the example given that we are a traveler in the desert. So our soul has been traveling in the desert. Then when we are resting at that oasis, that is the planet Earth. So the planet Earth is a short while. Then our soul will then continue the journey towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the planet Earth is only our, what do they call it, a way station. We are only here for a short while. I forget that name, it just slipped my mind. You know, when you're going, yes, at the airport, it's called a transit zone. Or when you're in between two airlines, when you go traveling from A to B, you are then sitting in the transit lounge. So when the planet Earth is simply a transit lounge, we are still going to embark on our journey. Yet some people make the planet Earth their home, as if they're going to live here for eternity. They become so obsessed with the world and they start acquiring so much money. The money gives them power, and some of them become greedy and arrogant, and thereby acquiring the qualities of shaitan. And they get more powerful, more fame with the people. And yes, they will be doing good deeds as well, philanthropic deeds to quell their conscience. But remember, there's no harm in earning money, so don't misunderstand what I am saying. In fact, it is a duty to earn money. It is a duty on the man to provide for his family, but remember, the rosy and the sustenance come from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What has been written for you, you will get it. So don't take shortcuts. Don't try and get what's not written for you. And what is written for somebody else, don't steal their rosy. If someone has got a better house or a better car, don't be like the criminals in our country or elsewhere. You break into people's houses and you steal their wealth. That's not your wealth. They worked hard for their wealth. Why don't you learn to get a job and open your own business? God will provide for you, but don't be a criminal. Because one day God is going to hold you to account. And if you are a member of government, don't be a criminal. Don't think that nobody knows. Don't become arrogant that no one must ask you questions. Don't become so arrogant that if the journalists or the newspapers ask you questions, you become arrogant. Don't do that. Because one day God is going to hold you account. And Umar bin al-Khattab radiallahu anhu reminded us, take account of yourself before account is taken of you on the day of accountability, the day of judgment. So nor strain your eyes in longing for the things we have given for enjoyment to parties of them, to some of them, the splendor of the life of this world, through which we test them. But the provision of your Lord is better and more enduring. Look after yourself, alhamdulillah.